So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, most fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I am so glad that you found me, and I hope that this reading resonates with you. And for those of you guys who are returning, I am so blessed, so grateful, and so thankful. Thank you so much for your support. And of course, Happy New Year if you're watching at the time of the posting. I did take some time to heal and integrate a lot of energy that I was processing. Okay, I say heal, process, integrate, transmuting energy. Okay, and I haven't had quite a shift like this in a very long time. So it's been really leaving me feeling not in a position to channel and drained, although I want to. Okay, I really want to, but every time I sort of want to, it falls exactly at that I want, but who cares what I want? At the end of the day, it's how it is that I'm able to channel or deliver at the time that the reading is being called to deliver. And so here I am being called to channel and deliver, and I'm so blessed, so thankful. Thank you, Spirit, for allowing me this opportunity to channel this energy. And of course, thank you to the viewers who are here. I love you guys very much, and you guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading is a pick a card reading. We'll be using the Inner Child Tarot cards as the 3 options to choose from. Okay, and so I'll put timestamps below, or you could select which option you want to pick. And what we're going to be asking Spirit is, what are you needing to know in regards to energy that's going on with you, around you? Okay, this could be stuff that's out of your conscious awareness. This could be something you're struggling with, challenged with, or just validating, confirming something that you already know. And it's just sort of highlighting it to you. Okay, I don't know what we're going to see here, but as usual, I do like to put disclaimers on these types of readings. If it's your first time to this channel, welcome, like I said. And I am not predicting anything with my tarot here. Okay, this tarot is reflecting back to your state of consciousness, which means what energy frequency are you in, and what's the most likely outcome based on the trajectory of energy and what you're sitting in. Okay, so high vibration, low vibration is always available to all of us, and it's up to us to choose what vibration we're sort of setting our dial to. Okay, it's always available, and so a range of frequencies is available. Okay, but this is going to be tuned into your specific frequency. So if you shift your frequency, this is why consciousness is so important. If we're conscious, we make certain choices, decisions. We can change the dial to different frequencies. If we're conscious, you shift it, then the reading no longer suits. Okay, and so the tarot reader could be constantly sort of telling you the same messages over and over and over. It's not that the tarot readers are all saying the same thing so that they're, I don't know, trying to win views or whatever. Okay, some of them might be, but I don't know about all those. But it could be that the tarot readers are certainly tapped into your frequency. So you connect with that tarot reader, the reading is resonating, but it's not going anywhere. And it's not going anywhere because we could certainly be in an energy frequency holding that vibration, but not grounding and not manifesting. Okay, and so if the tarot reader keeps promising all these changes and shifts, it's like always on the horizon, and we're constantly sort of looking to the future, but we're not here in the present moment to make conscious choices. Okay, and so I do these readings not to keep you in la la land, not to keep you in the tarot rat race, not to keep you in some sort of state of fantasy. Okay, these readings are meant to allow you to sort of be in your highest vibration of consciousness so that you can make decisions that are aligned for your greatest and highest good based on your own decisions. Okay, nobody can tell you what your greatest, highest good is. So I'm channeling the divine. I'm channeling through whatever it is that Spirit's wanting you to know. And I read the cards exactly as it comes through. Now, is it Linda's advice, Linda's perception? Well, it's the way I channel. And so Spirit knows what I'm going to be channeling based on the cards and based on the energy, and how I deliver it is exactly the message Spirit knows is going to come through me because I'm the vessel. Okay, so that doesn't mean that I'm giving opinions and making the things up. That means I'm using my words to deliver the information. And so I don't generally always fit for every type of person here on earth. Okay, I give long readings, and sometimes I ramble, and sometimes it just is not resonating, and that's fine. Then not your reader, not your pile, not your reading. You can go check out other readings, other readers. That's fine. Okay, but I always intend on delivering exactly what I see, and it being as completely open and transparent with the energy, okay, as I channel it. All right, so trust me, I don't always want such long readings, but I don't feel like I did a service if I just look at the time and say, "Ooh, 16-minute readings is what I want to do so that I can fit some sort of algorithm." That's not at all how I channel, okay? My sole purpose is to deliver whatever the message is so you can utilize it for your greatest and highest good. All right, so this is why I read. That's the only reason why I read, is to deliver the information. And so hopefully it's helping, not hindering, not keeping you stuck. Okay, because I don't want any involvement in that, but it's up to you how you utilize that information, and I cannot help all of the collective sort of implement or integrate any of that information. That's up to each individual as they see fit. Okay, if you want to stay stuck, stay stuck. If you want to make conscious choices, make conscious choices. So enough of that whole thing, but I felt the need to begin the new year with that disclaimer. And I will link a timestamp to this disclaimer. If I need to clarify anything in the comments that irritates the shit out of me, I'm going to be like, boop, boop you right there. Okay, because everything you need to know is just booped right here into the disclaimer here. Okay, and that's fine. I'm annoying myself. So you annoy me, I annoy you, and we're all one big happy family. Okay, so beautiful angels, I'll put the timestamps below. We'll get into the inner child cards and the picks, and then we will ask the beautiful divine to deliver whatever it is that we are needing to know for your energy. Okay, and I will see you guys at the card selection. Hello, gorgeous angels. So we're going to pull 3 options. I shuffled your oracle cards. I've not looked at them. We asked Spirit exactly what it is you're needing to hear and know right here, right now, based on your energy. Okay, energy around you, your energy, situation, circumstance, whatever it is that Spirit wants you to know. And we have 3 piles. So let's pull our 3 options. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of the collective that's tapped into this reading. We're looking at what they need to hear and know right here, right now for these 3 piles. Option 1, 2, and 3. Option 1, option 2. I'm going to reveal them shortly, okay? And option 3. All right. So if at any point you're called to any one of these 3, you can select from the timestamp below. I will not be reading reversals for the for any of these oracle cards, okay? So we'll flip them over, and if you feel called to multiple piles, listen to that intuition, okay? It's absolutely fine to be drawn to multiple. There could be crisscrossing energies. We could be looking at people around you, situation, and your energy from different perspectives, okay? So let's take a look. Pile number 1, we have the Guide of Swords, and I do believe this is the, oh great, I was going to look before. I was like, no, I remember. I think the guide is the Queen, but I could be mistaken. Okay, but either which way, we're just going to channel the energy. But I want to see what this book... So we have the Seeker, which is the Page, and we have the Guide, which is the Knight. The Guardian. Oh, I'm sorry. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. Child is the Page. Seeker is the Knight. The Guide is the Queen. And the Guardian is the King. Okay, it doesn't matter the suit, although we have the sword. So this is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. And this looks like Robin Hood. All right. Fascinating. Option number 2, we have the 7 of Hearts, which is the 7 of Cups in a traditional tarot. I'm putting it here because the light, oh, I guess there's no light. I don't know. I'm half asleep, as you can tell. Option 2, 7 of Cups. All right. Option 3, the 10 of Wands. All right. So sit with this energy. Take as long as you need. I'll leave the video running for a bit so you don't get the weird bars at the bottom, and take as long as you need. Okay, if you need more time, you can go click on the timestamp and listen to your first pull. Will most likely be your pile. If you still feel stuck, then close your eyes and open your eyes, and whichever one you're called to will most likely be your pile. And I will see you guys at your pick. Pile number 1. You guys got the Guide of Swords, which is the Queen of Swords that we confirmed in the book with Robin Hood. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. He has a bag of money, and there's a little deer here beside him. So I ask spirits to deliver what it is you need to know right here, right now, based on your energy. Okay, it could be confirming something to you or bringing something to your awareness. And also we want to see whether your energy pulls through here so we can get some form of confirmation that this is your pile. Okay, best way to tap into this energy to know if it's your pile is to ask spirit for what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this energy is for you throughout this card layout. This is why I include the card layout so that you can develop your intuition. If you want to go straight away to your channeled message, you can do that. Okay, although I don't know how strong your intuition is and whether that messaging is for you. So use your intuition. All right, so Guide of Swords. So we see a path leading to some castle, and we see the horse and carriage, which is giving me chariot energy. And there's people in this chariot, 3 people, and then we have Robin Hood here. Okay, hiding sort of behind a tree. All right, and then we have Mercury and Uranus, so 26, or the number 8. So we have the ruling planets for Gemini, Virgo, and we have the Uranus energy, which is Aquarius energy. Tower or judgment energy. Okay, could be the Great Awakening, the point of reckoning here. All right, and then we have Saturn and Chiron, 51 or 6. So we have Capricorn, Gemini energy, and Aquarius as well. So this is like shadow work and healing. Okay. All right. And then with the Queen of Swords, we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius as well. Heavy Aquarius energy pulling through. All right. So we have Saturn in Cancer with Charity, number 4. Look at the building here as well. So buildings could symbolize our stability. Okay, it could be our home life. It could be your family. Long-term security. We have the angels up here. And there's 3 angels. Remember, so there's 3 people here. 3 angels are playing a harp. Charity. Okay, and then we have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. So this is kind of taking me back to the story of Robin Hood. I'm going to put the tarot here so I don't forget. It's funny because I was talking to my twin yesterday, and we were talking, and I said, what annoys me more than self-righteous rich people is self-righteous poor people. And so I'm getting that same sort of energy here with Robin Hood, which is like, and this envy, you know, it's like it doesn't matter who's doing the envying or the self-righteousness or whatever. It's like the act itself, okay, or the understanding itself, whether it's and there's no such thing as good or bad, or whether it's a higher vibration or a lower vibration, is all that it is. It's irrelevant who's doing the lower high vibrational things here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It doesn't discriminate, bad action, charity. So Robin Hood steals from the rich and gives to the poor. He takes from the rich. That movie is really coming through. What was it called? I think it was called In Time with Justin Timberlake. And it was everything's exchanged through time. And he says, in there he says, is it stealing if the thing is already stolen? So it's like it justified him stealing because whatever it was that he was stealing was already stolen. So the rich people are stealing from the poor, and so then therefore the poor are stealing it back. It's almost like this transactional thing here. Okay, interesting energy already. And so we have companionship. Giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift. And look at these elephants. So elephants are all about memory. Okay, abundance. It's also, I'm getting this house energy, which is very solid and stable and fixed. Okay, because an elephant's very, very heavy and fixed here. But there's two elephants, and I'm getting that whole exchange again, in a partnership. Seeing the dragonfly, which is about seeing through illusions, and the Queen of Swords is certainly cutting through any sort of illusions or misunderstandings. Do we feel we're giving something? Or understanding is we're giving something, and that we're actually being in one energy, but really the output is not what we think it is, but it is what it is, whatever we're outputting, might not be as charitable as we think we are being here. This might be a backhanded, just like a sword has two sides to it, a backhanded action. That it depends on how we look at it. That might be groundbreaking here for us to see or heal something or needing to heal. Okay, you or whoever you're dealing with here. Okay, partnership with companionship. Okay, that's generally would be two people. All right, and so we have an older man, dealings or relationships with an older man. We just finished saying relationship, but I'm getting masculine. And the older could certainly be someone in age. Okay, that's older, but it doesn't have to necessarily be older. It could just be talking about the time thing here. So maybe the person you've spent the most amount of time or the longer term sort of relationship with or experience with, or the more mature man. Or the more mature masculine energy. Doesn't have to be a man so much as it is the masculine energy, the more experienced masculine energy. Yes. Okay, now I'm getting when we are no longer distorted, okay, with this dragonfly, we could see clearly, like this Queen of Swords, cutting through any illusion of distortion. And we don't know when we're in our own distortion here, okay? And so there's this wiser masculine energy, meaning I'm acting wiser. I am thinking wiser, okay? So thought comes in the mind, but when it's distorted and when there's clouds and when there's misconceptions, then we're not really wise. We're sort of just in our mind thinking and believing in something. It doesn't make it right or right or righteous or accurate, okay? But if it is coming from a wisdom, meaning there is less distortion. Now it's a wise mind, and I'm saying mind only because masculine is of the mind, okay? Not only of the doing, but it is of the mind. And same with this Queen of Swords, okay? Because swords is all about the masculine energy. So there's something about understanding something clearly. And maybe that will allow us to take action in a different way than how we have been. Okay? Yeah, something I'm seeing like Hangman now. Okay, a hangman energy here because there's a need to change or see something differently or understand something about how we're seeing a situation. Blinding optimism, 57. So this is 12, and 12 is hangman energy. And so we need to shift how we're seeing something because we're being blinded by our own understanding of something, okay? Now, this doesn't have to be rose-colored glasses and nothing's wrong because I do feel like you feel the transaction falls short here. That's how I feel. I feel like there's an energy here of it's imbalance, or I'm like giving of myself, or I'm like putting something out here, but it's like what I'm blinded by is my understanding of this viewpoint because it is stemmed in this like self-righteous energy is really what I'm feeling here, you know? We don't realize because, of course, it's ego distortion when we put ourselves in any hierarchy with another. There is no hierarchical sort of positioning, okay? There's just, it is what's happening and what is. And so if we're not aware of what is, we start creating all sorts of tiers and all sorts of what should be's and what has to be. And that creates suffering, okay? But it's also something we're needing to heal. And why are we needing to heal? Okay, I use that loosely because you're already healed, but this is about looking through the illusion and working through any shadow so that we're able to hold a higher state of consciousness here and awaken. Okay, so Pisces energy coming through here. Yes, all right. And then we have the Jack of Diamonds, which is we can either call this the Page or the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, but this deck, you could read it in the upright and in the reverse. And here it's coming in the reverse. I'm kind of getting just the Wheel of Fortune with the wheel. But here we see the two stone jugs. So let's see what the author of this deck is saying, okay? Although, like I always say, we do read it intuitively, but the author intends it to have some form of a meaning. And I'd like to know what this meaning is here. Okay, so Jack of, not spades, Jack of Diamonds. Diamonds, diamonds. Yes. What the heck? Sorry, it's such a little book and I'm getting lost. Jack of Diamonds. Wagon Wheel. It says, we all know that song originally sung by Old Crow Medicine Show and then redone by Darvis Rucker. No, I don't know any of that. Anyway, it speaks of reunion. A young man, oh my goodness, older man. A young man and a beautiful girl. Companionship. When my mama taught me to read, the Jack of Diamonds was a beautiful girl and a young boy. Something new, but not tapped into yet. It is generally good news for this. The card's main symbol is the wagon wheel. To dream of one signifies a visitor. Like the wheel, folks travel many roads here and there and sometimes find themselves meeting each other halfway. Ah, yes, remember. Tit for tat, what are they doing for me? But there's an understanding of something here. Okay, meeting each other halfway, something's in balance here. So this is our thought or perceived thought, okay? This card foretells a future meeting between friends or relatives. Specifically, it represents a young man or woman with the blonde or light features. However, the one whom this card represents may also be hard to please. Interesting, because remember what I said, some sort of self-righteous-y energy. Okay, maybe not the right word to use, but I'm seeing as my action being virtuous, but not to the thing that I'm getting in return here. Okay, and we're entitled to our opinion, but this creates suffering when our opinion is distorted based on some sort of understanding that isn't necessarily true. Okay, beliefs. So we have up level 41 and 5. And this is Rapunzel, and she's letting down her hair to assist. Remember the story of Rapunzel, where the knight, I don't know what his name is, but he's supposed to climb up her hair, and then the kidnapper, which is her family member, I don't know if it was her aunt or who it was, cuts her hair. Hair represents ego. Okay. It also represents her strength. And so that's why I say the strength card, because it can represent ego, okay, or pride. But it's also our strength. It could also be our strong suit here. It's also could be supporting. I'm also getting the Tower from the Lenormand. The Tower is all about feeling isolated. It can also be an organization or a structure. Okay, well, we were feeling the house here. So I am getting some sort of Hierophant energy, but mostly, yeah, and the mountains. Mountains can speak of something solid as well, like I said, fixed with the house. Obstacles. Okay, Sun, masculine energy, which we were feeling. So we have some Leo and some Aries energy pulling through this card. Okay, but the number 5 is Taurus and Sagittarius with up level. An up level would mean what? Raising our vibration to a higher state of consciousness to see something here in order to be of service. Because then we get what we wanted anyway. But we're not doing it to get what we want. Okay, but that's the path. And look at this hair is looking like this path. Exactly. So see how this hair is sort of windy, exactly like this path? And this path, sorry, I'm looking in the camera. This path is leading to this castle. The castle, like I said, represents some form of stability, security. It could be something very solid here, and that's where the Chariot wants victory. It wants to move in this direction in sort of a balanced way. But in order to get there, it's like we have to use our own strength, and we have to be very aware whether we're sitting in pride or what it is that we're engaged with here. Okay, which could mean an up level of how we see something here consciously. All right. Yeah, look at this beautiful heart. So I'm getting unconditional love, companionship here, 2 people. Again, it's like acts of service out of love, not out of one's desire to attain something here. Ladder. Oh my goodness. The hair, the ladder. Okay, climbing towards success here. Okay. Well, I do feel like I want to put some tarot down here. It feels very dark, but I know if I turn the light on, you're going to be blinded. Let me see. I don't know. I'm maybe going to leave it like this so I can see. All right, Spirit, thank you so much for this message. It is actually coming through very clear for me, but let's ask Spirit, clear and concise message for beautiful pile number 1. What are they needing to know about their energy or anything going on around them that's going to provide some form of clarity, some form of healing, some form of insight, whatever it is they're supposed to know right here, right now, spirits. Thank you so much. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the collective. What is it, pile? Did I say pile 3? Pile 1 needs to know. Look at the Queen of Swords coming out. And didn't I say Hangman energy? I was feeling right when I flipped this one. Okay, so we have Pisces, Gemini, and Libra. This Hangman is in the reverse, exactly, stuck in our way of understanding, so we're not seeing a truth. Even though the truth is in front of us, we're seeing it in a certain way that's very fixed, okay? It might be an old way of seeing something, and there's a more enlightened way to see and understand. What's more enlightened than self-righteousness and pride is selfless, non-egoic, unconditional love, and being of service, okay? 7 Pentacles in the reverse. So this is like an energy where it's like, I don't know whether I should continue maintaining something here or giving up or throwing in the towel. Okay. And the King of Wands in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So King of Wands in reverse. In this type of energy that I'm feeling, it feels more like the King of Wands in the shadow, which would be some form of an egoic pride or arrogance getting in the way of some form of effort. All right, the Wheel of Fortune, which we were feeling from the wheel. Okay, so divine intervention. things moving and flowing, things out of our control. Let's see, why is this Hangman here? Spirit, clear and concise message. Why is the Hangman in reverse? We have the Page of Swords. So curiosity to see beyond the clouds. Why is this 7 Pentacle in reverse and this King of Wands here in the reverse? The World in the reverse and the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Okay, why is this wheel here? And then we'll begin to channel your message. I feel those. How many do we have here? Oh, we have quite a bit. Okay, those are also going to be a thing. We have the 7 of Cups in reverse. We'll leave that like that. And the bottom of the deck, look at 2 cups. Companionship, totally. Totes my goats. All right, so can you see this if I leave it there? It's as good as it's going to get. You guys can click on the timestamp. It'll take you directly to the channeling. Let me sit with this energy and begin to channel what this is about. Okay, pile number 1. This is interesting energy, okay? I do suggest you listen to the card layout to see whether this energy is going to be something you resonate with or not. As I always say, this could be your energy of someone you're dealing with, a situation or circumstance, or it could belong to you. It could be your higher self, your lower self, could be an unconscious part of yourself. Keep an open mind, but don't force it to fit. If it doesn't fit, it's not your story. Okay, it's for someone. So I read a lot of signs, okay, when I put the cards out. I wasn't intending on doing the tarot right away, but I did. And so there's a couple of strong messages that come through here. I feel like you have an understanding. How you'll know this is your pile here, okay? I do feel that at some point in time, whether you still feel this way or not, okay, there's an understanding that you held of a belief, okay, that I think is getting in your way. And it's getting in your way of a connection of sorts, okay? Because I feel like there is a connection that could be harmonious, as my cat scratches on the door here. All right, so it could be harmonious, this connection, for sure. And I do feel like your energy is coming through as someone who might see an imbalance, experience an imbalance, okay? Because I'm not trying to gaslight you. If we experience and believe in an imbalance, that's exactly what we're experiencing. And I do feel like there is an experience. So whether you're conscious of seeing it or unconscious of seeing it, I don't know necessarily, because for some of you guys, this is a karmic experience, okay, that we're sort of experiencing here. And it doesn't matter how conscious we are, unconscious we are. But so if you're conscious, take this as confirmation because it's something you already know. Okay, but if you're unconscious, then this could be something that you're working through. And what are you working through? Some imbalance here in a connection of sorts with this companionship. Okay, it has history here, but it's like an established understanding that we carry that could either elevate us, help us, if we see through certain parts that might be distorted or untrue, and we can utilize this as strength to allow us to work with other here. Okay, so what does this mean? This means there is a way of engagement that requires you to come online from a different understanding than maybe one that you've carried. And it could be very, very difficult for us to switch how we see things when our experience is very real to us. And so if we're discouraged, if we feel slighted, if we feel like it's unfair or unjust or imbalanced, or some form of creating them versus me type energy. Okay, because that's all based on a foundation of separation. There's them out there, and then there's me. So there's a separation. That card just moved. I thought I saw it move. Anyway, so there's this understanding, but when we see beyond that, there is no separation. When we see beyond the tear and the understanding that we're having here, because we're casting a form of opinion or understanding and judgment upon a situation. Now, you might not be judging the person, okay, because I don't know, it does feel like you're dealing with someone. Okay, it feels like you're dealing with someone. And it's like you might be perceiving the situation or the circumstance in a certain way. And what Spirit wants you to understand is that when you start to become consciously aware of how you're seeing your situation, then you can utilize your own self to make decisions and choices that might be different than how you have been. So it could help this situation, the circumstance, or this person, or this relationship, or this thing. Okay, because I feel like you might feel maybe alone, like you're picking up all the weight, like you're wanting maybe assistance, or not wanting to be isolated or alone, or wanting something to shift, or wanting some help, but you're like, I'm doing it all, or I'm doing all I can. Okay, and I do feel you believe this for sure. Okay, but Spirit is saying that is actually not what you're being guided to keep following and feeding that line of thought. Okay, there's some line of thought that is being asked of you to shift. And it's not doing this so that you can stay in stuck situations. This is asking you to shift because perception and all perceptions are all true based on their perceived reality. So if I'm looking from this point over here, there's one perception. If I'm on this point looking over here, that's that perception. If I'm on this point looking at that point, then I'm on that perception. If I'm on this, and so on and so forth. And so you sit in some position, but that doesn't mean that there's so many other positions. Okay, and you could say, well, there's only one other person, or there's, this is true or fact. Meanwhile, Spirit is saying, no, your understanding is actually your own perception, and it's creating your suffering. And once you tweak this, there is this ability to be conscious, to utilize something in order to help your situation, to bring you closer, or to act in a way of unconditional love, to be of service, because I feel you're being of service. Now, this is allowing there to be a graduation of your consciousness. Okay, and recognition of the ego. Because when we see your own ego and we're not looking at how other people are behaved, when we see and recognize our own ego, we don't try to change it or wish it weren't there or suppress it or try to fight it, okay? Because what you resist persists. The ego is going to come, and it's like, how conscious am I? Do I see it? Am I acting in it, or do I see it there? And then I see through the illusion that the ego is trying to sell me. The ego is trying to sell you a story, okay? And I feel like this story is telling you a narrative right now that's actually creating your suffering, even though you might seem or believe to seem that you did everything, or you're the righteous one, or you're acting in your highest, or you're the one that's giving, or you're the one, like that's the story. It's like, no, yes, you could have gave to a situation, but you're not the only giver, okay? And you're not the whatever story here, because there is that story. And that's the thing that needs to blow up here. Because this almost feels like, where we're selfless and then we get resentful in some way, and I'm not seeing any resentment here, but it's the same sort of along the lines of, I'm going to see myself in a certain way, and then that means the situation or person that I'm dealing with is automatically painted in a way. And then I act as if. And as long as you believe your narrative, you're going to act as if. And the acting as if is actually the part your Spirit team and Spirit's coming here for you to see, because there's something you're wanting. And I do feel it is like a coming together, or something that jives, or something more balanced, or maybe more harmony between you and someone else, And it's like, how do I get there? Well, one, Spirit is saying your karmic lessons Is that of ascension? Is that of coming to a higher, more enlightened state of understanding? So you could actually see a clearer truth. The clear truth is that there is no separation. The ultimate truth. There's one state of consciousness. And so if I believe that I'm like separate from someone else and I'm the one doing, and I'm the one, now I'm believing that I'm a separate being. We're not then in a state of truth. We're then in a state of perceived reality. And so the perceived reality creates the suffering here. And so this is what we're trying to heal, because I feel there's some shadow work here and some healing that we're doing that persists. Now we could be feeling very discouraged. Okay. And we could be definitely still, okay, facts, dealing with someone maybe who also is in some form of ego. Maybe someone who lacks confidence. Maybe someone who is arrogant. Maybe someone who isn't picking up their own slack. Okay. So this doesn't make another sort of energy less valid or more valid. It's just talking about how you see the situation. And so you're entitled to have an understanding. Okay, but when we act on the understanding that we have as though it's truth, ultimate truth, that's where we get tangled up. Okay, tangled. Isn't Rapunzel, the movie Tangled? I feel there's a tangling up because we are dealing with someone that I do feel it could be somebody who isn't showing up or picking up their weight or invested or doing something here for whatever the reason. They're in their ego, they're lacking the confidence, or maybe they're too blinded by their own pride, or they just are not doing something here. And it's a reflection, because I do feel it's karmic, of a leveling up for you, an ascension stepping stone here. Okay, an up level. And so with the energy that I was feeling of the Lovers, which is coming through with this 51, this is all about a choice. Okay, and we don't have choice when we're not conscious. When we're just acting from the subconscious, we don't have choice. Meaning we just keep sort of doing motions. But the Lovers is all about choice. And am I choosing love in this moment to see love, which means I'm choosing to see the ultimate truth, not how I feel, not what I think, not with the distortion, not from past experience that I had, but the ultimate thing I can do in love is lean into the truth and act in line with the truth. Okay, then I'm acting in line with the highest truth. But when I'm not choosing love, I'm choosing the devil with the Lovers, which means I'm acting out of fears. I'm acting out of egos. And so I get different results. Anytime we choose the devil, we get different results. Okay, and so I feel like there's a need to scrub what we know and start to understand or get curious about a new way of understanding, because it's going to open up a whole bunch of different choices for you. And I feel like we're just sort of stuck, isolated, or feeling like we can't move. I can't move from this. I feel isolated or stuck, or like I can't, it's like, help me. Why aren't people helping me? It's like I'm the one here, but I'm the one extending help, and you could really start to believe in this whole thing. But it's like, well, yeah, in order for you to get helped, maybe you do need to help, It's like maybe someone does need to go in there because there's no door at the bottom of this tower. And so you let your hair down in order for someone to go there, in order for them to help you in some capacity. So it's not necessarily what you're seeing, because what you're experiencing might feel like you're getting the short end of the deal, or like you're the one, I don't know, giving something of yourself, And so Spirit is talking about there being a harmonious, balancing relationship, companionship, okay, like transaction of love here that's based on trust. But how do we base trust here in an equal way if we are creating the separation that is the thing that we're not wanting to experience? So I don't want to experience isolation, but I'm going to believe in separation. I don't want to experience lack or loneliness, but I'm going to act as though I am separate, and so I create the lack, And now, of course, there is no such thing as lack. There's the belief in lack, okay, because everything exists in abundance here. And so what are your beliefs? That's really the question here. What are your beliefs? Okay, and so I feel like there's a karmic, destined experience that's being reflected back to you. that is needing to close out here that maybe we haven't yet confronted or seen or dealt with, that's going to open up a world of possibilities here. So we have tarot cards that flew out. That might be telling us more of this story. Okay, that came out in the shuffle. So we have the King of Swords, which is this masculine energy of thought. Okay, thought. And look at this baby. So baby, there's a page here. So a new thought, Page of Swords is definitely thinking differently because it's like trying to gather information here in a new way. But again, like baby thought could be like, I'm not ascended enough to see from a higher level of consciousness. And so I'm immature in my thought. This doesn't mean an immature person. This could just mean a person who is not yet at the level of a higher state of consciousness. So I'm just running with my first 3D feeling. It's unfair. I did something and they didn't do it for me. Okay, that's step one. Let's go to the second step. There's steps here to this ascension process, and we have to see through our own mind speak so that we're wise about our understanding, so that we're acting from a place of unconditional love and not transaction. Because if we act out of transaction, fear-based, what are you going to do for me? That's the only energy that will ever come back to us. We're creating our own reality here, okay? So there's something about thought coming through with this King of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, so Hierophant, Taurus energy. So this is like a structured way of being or believing. Yeah, it's like my understanding of how things should be are very fixed here. This is stone, very fixed. Even with the mountains, like I was saying in the layout, so something very fixed. But that which is fixed, that which is stuck is the thought, and that is what's causing the obstruction. So right here, the thought and the fixation with that type of thought that's unmoving is the creative, the stuckness here. Okay, so as long as we're aware of that, then we can shift and change and maybe be more flexible. Now, it's our decision. Do we want to stay with that same mind story? Sure. But we're just being asked to be conscious that that's what we're doing. So we're not just feeling stuck for no reason. Why is it that I'm stuck? Why is it that it's unfair? Why is it that this person, why? It's like, well, no, if we're conscious, we know why. It's like this because my action is based on a belief that I'm fixed on. I'm fixated on some sort of understanding here, and I can't move beyond this understanding. And so I'm acting as if. I'm acting as if everything's unfair. I'm acting as if this person is imbalanced. I'm acting as if I'm the one who's doing the doing. That's how I'm acting as if. And so my results are going to reflect this back to me. Okay, remember what I said, a state of consciousness and a state of seeing the ultimate truth here. But if we're in the dark and we're not seeing it, okay, and I think what Spirit is really saying is we're getting in the way with our own understanding, okay, that has been given to us through our upbringing. We didn't just develop it because we wanted life to be challenging, okay? It's like I carried these beliefs over time and it made who I am and what I'm about and what I believe in. I never questioned them again. And then they get cemented here and I can't move out of them. My understanding about commitment, my understanding about what it means to be balanced, my understanding of what someone needs to do for me. These are all the things getting in the way of your true happiness here. And so, like I said, Spirit wants you to be happy. There's something here that you're meant to experience in happiness and light. And we could really, really think that it's other getting in the way of this, but we're the ones getting in the way here. Okay. And so how do we get our own happiness? We have to shine the light of awareness on our own fixed points of views. Fixed point of view is this Hangman in reverse. I only have this narrow perspective of what I've ever experienced. That's all I know. I can't see beyond it. And now, therefore, I'm experiencing a very limited experience. Okay? So we could be happy, or we could close out the happiness here if we don't deal with this rock fixation here. Seven of Wands, defensiveness, fighting for what matters. So we need to know what matters in order to fight in the right direction. Oh, Mother Mary falling again. I say again because she fell in the collective reading here. So what is this? This is about, and look, this is the tarot of what? the New Vision Tarot, his back is turned. And so I'm really getting, he needs to course correct and know what he's fighting for. I say him, but I feel it's you, okay? Whether you're he or she, I don't know. There's divine masculine energy here, by the way. Leo, Taurus, and then Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. He is fighting strongly, okay? And if he's not fighting, then he's guarding. But he's guarding and fighting for the wrong thing. He's standing on the wrong hill. Wrong. The one that doesn't get him happiness. And we could really, really believe, no, I'm fighting to get balance. I'm fighting for this awareness. It's like, no, we're actually not. Our back is turned to the thing. Because what we should really be looking at, and not necessarily fighting, okay, is our stance, is our beliefs. Because we're in some sort of position here, maybe a little defensive, a little guarded, trying to upkeep something here and saying, I need to protect it. No. That's not what's happening here, okay? Yeah, 10 of Cups. We're getting in the way of our own happiness. And then, like I said, 10 Cups is a two-way street, because this is about two people coming together to create the ultimate happily ever after. Okay, your happily ever after. Whatever happily ever after is to you, okay? Fur babies, family, whatever this union of two people sharing 10 Cups, okay? It's the potential that's stalled here. Like, this is ultimate. Okay, it's stalled here, not because of them, not because of anything external, but solely because of this fixed mindset understanding that we have, okay? So let's take a look. And then we have, the 9 Cups in reverse. So the 9 Cups is about our own emotional fulfillment. And we can't be in a 10 if we're not in a 9. Okay, because the tarot, as we know, it goes through a series. And so the 9 is I'm emotionally fulfilled with myself and my understandings, and now I could become available to offer and be of service with other because I found my 9. But if I haven't found my 9, how can I be a 10? I can't. And I want to be a 10 here, and now I'm transactional. I'm not unconditional. I'm saying, what can you do for me? I want my 10. I want my 10. Meanwhile, it's like, we'll find your 9 first. Okay, I feel like there's something also about young energy. The page here, like I said, there was the baby here behind the King of Swords, and now we're seeing children here in this 9 of Cups. So an immature understanding, okay, that hasn't reached maturity when it comes to enlightened, higher level of ascended thinking that says, how can I choose differently? How can I see my situation from a different sort of perspective here that allows me to find my own 9 Cups? Because a 9 Cup isn't someone else's responsibility. Someone else isn't going to make me emotionally happy. I have to make myself emotionally happy. The minute I transition to someone else, it needs to fill my cup. Someone else is my happiness. I'm already under an understanding that is not necessarily true, and it's going to be a world of suffering. Yes, people could make you happy for sure. They have all sorts of opportunities to do so, but people can also make us very unhappy, disappointed even. It comes and it goes. Okay, just like everything in this universe, it comes, goes, comes, goes. It's never fixed. And so what you're learning about here, this divine lesson of ascension, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, is about what makes me happy. I need to know how to fill my own cup and bring my own happiness so that I can be available to create a 10 of Cups. So now I need to look at my own fixations, my own ways of thinking, the thoughts that I've always carried, that I cemented in stone about how this has to be, who I have to be, who they have to be, what they have to do, how it has to, be done, my commitment to this thing or the commitment to me. And I get very defensive when it's not aligned with that. Then I start to see it as like a block or an obstacle. But I'm not seeing a great truth. I'm just seeing what I'm believing in my own mind. Okay, so I feel you're unhappy here. It has nothing to do with your experience except for your own beliefs. Yeah, so the Tower. So this is this Uranus energy. And like I said, a thought system needs to be blown up when I laid this down. Okay, Mercury. The only way for your situation to shift, okay, if this resonated for you, period. Because I do feel there's some sort of contract here when it comes to lessons of sorts. And if we don't see it or understand it, we haven't ascended. We haven't up-leveled. This is all about up-leveling your energy here. Okay. Also, like I said, the hair is ego. The sun could be an ego card. Okay. And so the ego is coming with this Hierophant energy. Because when we have strong opinions, I don't care what it is. It could be in the self-righteous kind. It could be save humanity. It could be whatever the opinion is. If we're so fixated on that opinion, it's an egoic belief that gets in the way. We create an identity. Okay? Because if we're not attached, then it's like we can have opinions all day long. Great. Good to have opinions for sure. But when we're attached to it, then it creates suffering here. It's like, no. And this is why we always see arguing like online. It's like left and right. It's like, no, how dare they have this belief of the president and that of this. And it's like my beliefs and my way. Yeah. And so every religion has their belief. Every political agenda has their own. What's wrong? What's right? It's all opinion based. So we cannot get fixated. And this goes to the base fundamental. And when you get closer to the base fundamental, which is how I live my life, what family values are, what commitment looks like, what marriage looks like these are all bedrock foundations. And we get very threatened. We get very fixed on these opinions, but it's still an opinion. It's still an attachment. It doesn't matter what the opinion is. It's still a fixed understanding that needs to get blown up, not because it's wrong. It gets blown up so that we get enlightened to see all the perspectives, not just our own. We could see our own. We could see our persons. We could see Tim's, Fred's, Nancy's, and all of the collective. And still then we can make a choice because the choice is always ours. But what this lesson is like, are you making a conscious choice or are you making a set in stone belief that you got raised with and you're just running on some sort of program and it's not conscious? Because if you're not conscious, then I assure you, you're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel like your understanding is right and someone else is doing you dirty and it's not helping you. And then you get defensive and then you start to argue or then you want to prove your point more. And it's like, no, tower, boom, blow this whole thing up, blow this whole rock thing up. Okay? And then make a conscious choice. Because if you do want to choose still the thing that you always wanted to choose, it's still there in front of you. It's only asking you to see different perspectives because your happiness is at stake here. Okay, but we gotta really just, in order to encompass this, we have to acknowledge our own ego. And that's the toughest thing, because no one wants to say, maybe I was not true and right, but maybe my perspective was one of many. Okay, that takes us looking through our own ego, saying my perspective was one of many. Maybe it's not the be all end all. Okay, so now that's an ego death, if you will. Okay, well, not really an ego death because we might still have beliefs and we might still have ego, but that identity itself, that belief itself is now seen through. Once you see through it, it's no longer in the shadow. It becomes conscious. There's something about something coming out of the shadows for you that you're healing. Okay, but if you are being called for an ego death, then it's any sort of egoic attachments and fixations and opinions that we're attached to that are driving our actions. Okay, it blinds us. Those egos blind us. And so we get to shake things up here. So this is a good tower, although it might feel destabilizing at first because it's the foundation I always knew. The foundation I always knew is being called to sort of be taken apart here in order for me to build a better foundation, something more solid, something that lets people in, okay, but from a place of unconditional love that takes two. And I think this is what you want. Harmony, balance, trust. And so in this experience, this is how it's done. Okay, I'm not saying every experience has to be like this in your life. Okay, but this one experience, because I do feel there's a connection here of sorts that wants harmony, balance, trust, and this is how we're having to see beyond. Okay, so yeah, like definitely there's a desire you have to give. I see there being of service here, but being of service is not with an expectation behind it, with an understanding behind it. Giving and being of service is done selflessly. Okay, then I feel like you're being guided to be of service and not just so you could be unhappy. It's so that your happiness can come in. But we need to see why we're in a place of being of service in the first place. What beliefs do we carry with it? What attachments do we have with it? What understandings are we having? What sort of, why are we getting defensive or what are we fighting for? Okay, so beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Pile number 2, you guys picked the 7 of Cups. And I turned my light on for pile 1. Maybe I'll turn it off and see how it goes for a bit so you guys can see. But let's lay the cards out here, and we are asking Spirit and your Spirit team to deliver what it is you're needing to know or hear right now. Okay, and so this is a timeless reading. Whenever you click on this video, the message is meant to find you, of course, if it resonates for you. Okay, so sitting throughout this card layout will allow you to see whether this messaging is for you or not. So use your intuition, which you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this messaging feels right for you. Okay, or you could go click on the timestamp and go straight away to the channeled message. So 7 of Cups. In this 7 of Cups, it's kind of giving me a 9 of Cups sort of energy. Where we have all the cups in a row in the back. It's like getting your ducks in a row, like emotionally feeling centered. This is kind of what I'm feeling. And so I feel like with the 7 of Cups, which means confusion or many options and not knowing what to choose, maybe being in fantasy or needing to get grounded. I feel like we got grounded or centered, emotionally balanced is what I feel here based on an experience. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have the Sun and Mercury with the number 2. Okay, so some masculine energy with the Sun, which is Leo, and then we have some Gemini, Virgo with the Mercury. Sun and Mercury, so something about seeing our own expression, our own thought, our own manifestations. Maybe seeing what's available to us in order for us to find a state of happiness, emotional happiness. Okay, detachment. We have Venus in Aquarius. Number 11. 11 is a master number. Divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. The ship talks about travel and movement. But detachment, yes. Interesting, because pile 1, I was kind of getting the flip of this energy here. Sort of feels like it in some way. Okay, so we have detachment. Okay, we have fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Yes. Okay. And then we have gratitude. Fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever you go. Beautiful. So you see the hummingbird, which is all about the nectar of life, purpose of life. Fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever you go. Yes, and this sailboat. Okay, bulldozing, 5. So this could be a doer energy, with the bulldozing. That's the Sun energy even, masculine energy. But it's like having our way or will in some way. It's like a Knight of Swords energy, but also the 5 talks about conflict, loss, change, and rebuild. So that's towerish energy, and bulldozing can be like destructing the tower, like just like bulldozing it over, flattening something out in order to rebuild in some way. And of course, if we're attached to that tower, then we cannot sit through that bulldozing comfortably. But if we're detached, then it's like, okay, I'm willing to bulldoze this thing that needs to be bulldozed over. But this is in the blind spot oracle. So let's keep going. 7 of Cups again, you guys. 7 of Hearts. Now this one is in reverse, I think. Maybe not. Is that a cocoon? Let's see what the author talks about in this book. It looks like a cocoon. I like to read what the creator attributes to the card, although I do generally read them in channeling from intuition here, but let's see. It says 7 of Hearts, the rattlesnake rattle. Oh, it's the tail rattle of the rattlesnake. Interesting. The rattlesnake has been used in many ways throughout the South in folk magic and conjuration. But dream-wise, the meaning, I'm having a hard time reading. The meanings are generally consistent across the area. They are a sign of envy. Oh my gosh, that came out for pile 1, you guys, if you were close to 1. Envy, jealousy, and an enemy. If the snake bites you in a dream, the enemy conquers you, or you've been poisoned by conjure. If you kill the snake, you conquer the enemy. Likewise, the 7 of Hearts is a rattlesnake rattle, showing a person who isn't to be trusted no matter what. And a snake is still a snake, no matter how many times it sheds its skin. This card shows jealousy, hate, and a friend who may be an enemy. If shown with the 5 or 9 of spades, whether upright or reversed, it shows danger and violence. This meaning is the same upright or reversed, with only the outcome changing. Upright, you're in a battle. Well, I don't know if this is upright or reverse, but we'll read it intuitively. It says reverse, it's nothing to worry about, and now, oh, it's so hard to read. Reverse, it's nothing to worry about now, but don't let your guard down. Even after a snake's head has been severed from its body, it still has the ability to bite. Really? It has the ability to bite when it's severed? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, my goodness. That's all I can say about that. Bulldozing, the number 5. Some form of enemy here, snake. All right. We have inspired action with the number 12. So 12 is Pisces energy. It's also Taurus, Libra energy. Inspired action. Bulldozing. Being drawn to this, it's almost looking like a volcano, but the volcano is like erupting hearts. And you know how volcanoes, when they erupt, it's like an outburst of anger or like rage. But this is like an outburst of love. Okay. Oh gosh, an outburst. It's like someone sort of trying to prove a point or something, say something, be heard. And then this other person, it's the back of their head. So it's like one person's like wanting to be understood and one person's not paying attention. Detachment. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah, look at here. 2 people sort of walking away from each other, disheartened. It's like we couldn't understand each other and we're sort of walking our own path. All right. And then we have these 2 people, and they look like they're sort of fearing their environment. They might be hiding from shadows. And they're looking at like, I don't know, like something's coming towards them. Some form of threat might be approaching. All right. And then we have purse. Pay attention to your finances. So I don't take the words so literal as it is the energy in this thing. And it's giving me the pentacle. Okay, but the purple could be spiritual. Something spiritual in the practical realm here could have to do with finance. But this pouch is open and it's spilt out. So a leak of energy here is what I'm seeing. Yeah. In the practical, we could be leaking energy, you know? Depends. Okay. Dolphin, financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. So here there was the leak, the awareness to pay attention. Where's the leak? Where are we dropping energy? And here it says financial gain from something you did in the past. So it's like identifying this leak potentially. I may be detaching from it or something, or severing its head. Okay, not literally, but by putting an end to something here, maybe it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, like constantly, what's it called? When we say I'm like wasting my breath, you know, I keep trying to convince it or say something here, and it's like just draining my energy. Gavel, involvement with the law. So it could be contracts, could be a spiritual contract, some sort of karmic contract, some form of practical contract here in the 3D world. Okay, but let's see then. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. What is it that they're needing to know right here, right now? Clear and concise message. I'm going to turn this light on so I can see. Yeah, for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. What is it that pile number 2 is needing to know about their current energy states, energy around them, situation, spirit, for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2? We have the 4 of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Cups, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse, we have the 10 Swords, and we have the Fool in reverse, Aquarius energy. Why is this 3 of Wands in reverse? Eight of Pentacles and the Magician. Mercury energy, oops, which we were getting from the Sun and Mercury. Bottom of the deck, we have High Priestess, and under that we have the 9 of Wands. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. 9 of Wands in reverse under that, though. What's under that? Oops, the Hermit. Okay. 9 of Wands wanted to spin around. So, let me sit here with this energy and tap into it, and you guys can go click straight away on your channeled message. Okay, pile number 2, this does feel to me to be like a confirmation message for you, because I feel it's still challenging for you in some way. Okay, and I do feel for some of you guys, it's a situation or circumstance where it's not going smooth or how you'd like it to go, but it's really a messaging about not allowing what is happening that might be discouraging get in the way. I do feel like there's a shift in your energy here. It feels to me like it's from a position maybe where there was mass destabilization. Maybe you had confusion, or you were needing to get grounded, or you felt dysregulated, or you needed some form of like, I don't know if it's like a stability in some way, mentally, emotionally, and yeah, like things were maybe very clouded or unclear, maybe even like fantasy-like, or maybe you were having a difficult time sleeping. Okay, for some of you guys, it's not for all of you guys, but it's like maybe I need to get grounded in reality so I know the choices in front of me, or I'm in a secure position to make right decisions. And I feel like this is shifted, or this has been shifting, okay, because what I'm really feeling here is a very beautiful energy of you getting centered. Okay, centered on the prize, if you want to call it the prize, because I do feel like there's a star energy that comes through, which is your vision of some ultimate sort of purpose, although I don't feel like you're attached to that outcome so much as it is a healing process of guidance that allows you to be with what is in a balanced state of understanding. Okay, and so when we're in a balanced state of understanding, we're conscious enough to make choices and decisions here. And I feel like this is what Spirit is talking about. It's talking about inspired action, which means when I'm conscious enough to catch myself being pulled by anything other than gratitude, love, truth, and a higher state of consciousness, I am ready to intervene and do things differently. But if I'm not conscious, then I don't see the choice in front of me. This is kind of similar to one, but it's a different energy here, because I do feel like this energy is a beautiful energy here of really, really sort of understanding, like understanding this concept. But of course, we're all human. And of course, we can get destabilized in certain situations that are destabilizing, especially where we're sort of being confronted with situations and circumstances that don't feel good, or people that are like with a different agenda here. Okay. I feel like there was an energy leak. Okay. I don't know, some form of a parasite here. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that the person who is parasitic on you is bad, or that the situation necessarily is bad. Okay. But the parasite means it's like a vampiric energy that takes. And when we are an open source, we could get very, very drained and dysregulated. Okay. And I feel like there is an identification of this. And when we identify, we can make different actions and not allow ourselves to be pulled energetically. And so if we were pulled into situations that were like a lower vibration, or challenging us to be in certain states of fear or resentments or loneliness, disappointment, or battles, it's like, I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to scream louder so that I'm seen or understood, because I do feel like you're dealing with a situation. Okay, we read in this book when I did the card layout, this card isn't the greatest here because it's dealing with enemies. This is the rattle of the rattlesnake that's been chopped off, but it's like the snake is the snake here. And so, as you guys know, I don't read in toxic energies and bad. All we channel here is what is of higher vibration and what is of distorted vibration. And so if there's distorted vibration, okay, this could be people acting in certain ways that is sort of drain on our energy. And if we match that vibration, of course, we're going to experience those people, but those people are just mirroring a vibration back to us. We're the vibration holders. And so we don't like to believe that everything we see and the people we engage with are just a mere reflection of our own energy vibration. And so whatever we were experiencing here, okay, could have been challenging, but we're the ones that carry the vibration of what we're experiencing. Okay, and so I feel like there is this new energy of how to cope and how to deal that's shifted from the past. Because maybe in the past you were wanting or proving or doing something here, which could have left you feeling exposed, drained, or doing something that wasn't necessarily what you needed to do. And it's like, I can finally see that I have a choice, or I understand now that things could be different, or I could engage differently. Okay, and so I do feel like there is this understanding, and then being able to adapt this new way of engagement that allows you to have a beautiful new beginning here. And it is from a place of love rather than from a place of fear. Okay, and when I say that, it's like it's a higher vibration of engagement. It's like I'm available for the higher vibration. Okay, because I was talking about this volcano looking like it's spitting out hearts. And normally a volcano spits out lava and rage and anger and lower vibration, right? It's angry, it's frustrated, it's feeling the lower end, which is fear. Or this volcano can spit out hearts, which is what? Which is of the higher vibration, okay? Which is giving of love and acceptance and being able to receive this. So I feel like there is still a stuck energy that you're experiencing here. Okay. And I do feel like Spirit is saying it's not stuck because what you're doing is not right or bad or whatever. So if we're still not aligned, if we're still not being understood, if we're still not on the same page, if we're still experiencing certain things that we feel don't feel good, don't get reattached to the idea that you have to do anything other than hold the higher vibration of love. Because I feel like with consistent energy and effort, Spirit's saying you are manifesting a different reality in the 3D. And the 3D, like I said, with this purse, because I was seeing pentacles, okay, this is finances, but I'm taking the pentacle, the practical manifestation in the 3D is always the last thing to form. And so first we change the channel of energy, and then we act consistently holding that higher vibration, the vibration of gratitude, the vibration of love, the vibration of understanding, okay, and clearly seeing our own decisions, clearly seeing our own thoughts, clearly seeing our own communication. When we're clear about it with the sun here, then it's like I'm consistently holding this vibration. I'm allowing the universe to bring towards me this manifestation, but I'm co-creating with the universe this new energy because I'm truly surrendering to what is. I'm not trying to prove it. I'm not trying to coerce it. I'm not trying to argue with it. I'm not staying in situations where I might feel drained. I feel like something's been concluded here. Okay, and I do feel like, I don't know, because here it seems like two people are sort of fearing the shadows, you know? And it's kind of like, even if you might feel like you're in it alone, or even if you feel like I'm the one disappointed, or I'm like, it's easy to get lost in our own story. And it's like, what are other people experiencing? Can they be experiencing the exact same thing we are? Because that's what I'm feeling from these two cards. It's like if I was constantly looking down at my own shoes, thinking like, woe is me, or walking in some sort of sadness here, I would never know that someone else is behind me, maybe feeling the exact same way. And here it's like these two people are both equally scared. They're both hiding from some form of shadow here. I think both people don't want to get swallowed up by fear or their shadow or like whatever's threatening. It's like I don't want to be exposed to what's threatening. I want to hide from the threats. But what we might find threatening might be different for different people. But I feel like when we're considerate, knowing that others could have their own way of engaging, and for us it might seem like it's an enemy, or they're out to attack me, or they're out saying something threatening. It's like, are they, or are they hiding from their fears, and this is how they protect themselves? I feel like there's something here that's yet not revealed to you, okay? It's not revealed just yet, and it's not showing me as to why. And maybe you already know, because I do feel, like I said, connecting it back to the star, something you're wanting, something you're getting centered with, okay? But it's taking this process of healing, because along the way you're healing something. And the healing of the something is, you know, where there could be drains in your energy, learning discernment, not being attached to any sort of fear story or understandings of what I don't know, like maybe needing other people to validate you, or that your truth needs to be heard in order for it to be valid or true. It's like, no, nobody needs to validate or understand it in order for it to be true. So we don't need to prove it to anyone or do something here. Okay, but I do feel like whatever was cloudy, whatever was destabilizing, I feel like this is coming to an end. And I feel like whatever is hidden is going to be experienced and seen. But what your message here is to keep consistently in the higher vibration, so that you are with this inspired action card. Okay, I don't know if you could see it because of the light, which means I'm taking conscious action and making decisions with the two. Okay, to understand that I don't need to choose fear, or I don't need to see enemies, but I could be this magician, and in the practical world, put the energy towards something here that's going to end up being the result I want to see, even if I feel like I'm limited. you know, because I do feel like there's some form of a limitation, or you feel sort of stuck to something that isn't moving or not progressing. But it's like something must come to an end first. There must be some form of a detachment. So let's clear this up, because I know there's some loose ends here and we're not quite sure what we're being shown. Okay, but I am feeling what this gavel could be, like I say, a karmic, contractual obligations of sorts, a spiritual obligation, or it could be an agreement with someone. Okay, like some form of justice or some form of fairness, or a decision with the two. Okay, like what sort of decisions are we running with? Let's see, Spirit. For pile number 2, can we tie this reading all together? What is it that pile 2 needs to know about current energies here? Can we dive into what has been missed here in regards to what they need to know about this energy? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. So blessed to be here. For pile number 2, Spirit, can we dive into this energy a little bit more regarding what it is pile 2 needs to know? Now, I don't know if someone was ignoring your boundaries, or maybe you had to go back to basics in some way. Okay, that's coming through with bulldozing, because it could definitely be like somebody who's just sort of forcing their understanding on someone, you know, having their way, their will. But it's like if somebody has a boundary, then it's like, how are we managing this? So let's see. 5 of Wands. So this is the card of conflict. Okay, competition, challenge. It could be internal conflict, but it could be just a disagreement of opinions. Okay, like we're not coming to an agreement, so we have different conflicting thoughts and understandings or intentions even that aren't from the same songbook. We're all on different pages here. Okay, so again, the 5s. 5 is a master number. Okay, change is the only constant, divinely orchestrated change. And 5s are all about conflict, loss, rebuild, change, adventure. Okay, also about freedom, also about risk and innovation. 8 of Wands in the reverse. So 8 Wands in the reverse of something feeling stuck. We're conflicted because something is stuck or not moving. Remember, the 3 Wands was in reverse. And the Fool. So maybe you feel like, yeah, like because this thing, there is no movement or it's stuck, I feel like I have to argue my point or be understood to prove for this thing, but some form of friction here. 4 Cups in reverse. The 3 of Wands in reverse again. The 10 of Cups, ultimate joy and fulfillment. And the 3 of Cups in reverse. So this is the network of people. Okay, like the network of friends, groups of people, or community. But it is in reverse. And I just heard enemy, and this card was enemy. So are we feeling slighted by someone in our network of people, maybe even our family? 7 of Swords. There's that snake energy again. But this is in reverse. So it's like the thief returning the swords, or being honest, or apologizing, coming back. I don't know necessarily if they're apologizing. Let's see, the King of Wands and the Ace of Wands in reverse. This is inspired action, but look, it's in the reverse. So it needs to be the opposite. I need to sit with this energy and see what this is. 3 Pentacles working together again. So there's people involved here for sure. Okay. Or a person. It doesn't have to be people so much, but it could be multiple people here. So just let me sit here with this energy. 3 Pentacle. 8 of Wands. Okay, I think why it's not clear to me is because it's not moving. The energy is not showing me beyond the high priestess energy, because this feels like it's confirming what I just said. Okay, but it might come out a little different as I channel this for those of you guys who want a different way of understanding it. A three pentacle is a beautiful energy to be in, right? Because it's like everyone's working together. We could create something. I can't build it on my own, and I need your help. And the only way for us to come eye to eye and work together to create a third beautiful thing, be it a business, a family, a relationship, a business, whatever. You and I working together create a third thing. But if you and I can't even agree, if you and I are stuck, if you don't move, if I don't move, if I will have one vision and you have another that's not congruent, how can we build the thing? We can't. And we stay there and arguing my point. It has to be this way. It needs to be that way. We argue our point. We argue our point because it's like, I want it to move, or I feel stuck, or I feel like maybe I could guide this or control this in some way if I get this person to change their mind or convince them of something or do something here. And it's like, you know what? Whatever this group of people is, because I feel like there's people or a person. Okay? I don't know how many people are involved. For all of you guys, it is different. But it could be a family member. It could be someone we work with. Okay, it could be a best friend. It could be a romantic partner. But all this is like, whatever energy you're dealing with that person, it feels challenging because it seems like this fixed person or energy that is not engaged in a way that's cohesive enough to get to the star. Because I feel like your star is like coming together for harmony with said people or person, and it's like, is this person or these people aligned with my vision of what happiness looks like? Or are they going against it? Do I got to fight for my happiness? And so anything we got to fight for or prove obviously is not ours to carry. And so there seems to be something about misalignment here. Three of Cups in reverse. So not our friend group, or I don't know, someone that's more of like an enemy or a betrayal of sorts, and maybe we just feel betrayed by someone here who's like not doing something that we thought they would do, or that we think they should do or intended to do. Maybe they said they'd do something here. And it's like, this person is capable, but they're not doing it. That's what it seems like. Or this person isn't doing something here that you feel maybe they're supposed to do. Okay, supposed to. I don't know. You're like, when will they be honest? Or when will the truth come out? Or when will they see the truth or be honest? Something like this. So that there can be harmony, so that there can be cohesion. And it could just be like you feeling really like not seen and rejected here. And it's like, but remember what I said about two people feeling the same way in some way. And it could very well be that, like, if whatever energy you're dealing with, be it multiple people or whatever, is in a misaligned mismatch of energy, it doesn't allow there to be a workflow that allows there to be movement. And so it leads to some form of a disappointment here, and so maybe you felt like, I got to detach from these people, this person. Is like, unless they're honest or unless they, I don't know, because there does seem to be, you experience some sort of drain here. And I think the drain is you maybe having to convince them or be invested. So it's like, I don't no longer want to be invested, because when I'm invested, it's just like going against the grain or having to prove my position, and it's draining. Or maybe someone is trying to get you to change your mind. It's like they're strong arming you with this bulldozing. It's like, do it my way. And they're like, no. Or vice versa. And I don't know which it is. And so I'm going to ask for just like closing this reading out, if Spirit wants to give us some more, because I'm sure you have questions. I certainly do. Spirit, why are we seeing this then? Can we close out this reading for pile number 2? What is it pile number 2 needs to know then about these people or the situation? Like, what is it that is being shown or understood. Because I just keep hearing, like, as long as you're conscious about your choices and you're not choosing fear and you're not choosing with the, like running with an open purse. Okay. And what that means is like the drain of your energy is just falling out because it's like you're not consciously making decisions that could protect you when you're needing to sort of protect your own energy. Okay. I don't feel like it's like a physical threat so much as it is like a physical energetic threat. Like we could feel very depleted. We could feel very misunderstood. We could feel very much not welcomed. Like all of this stuff takes a toll, And then we just feel sort of detached here. So let's see. Spirit, can we close out this reading? Why are we having this reading? What does pile 2 need to know? Clear and concise message for pile 2 regarding this. What they need to know, energy. Please help me to channel in a way that pile 2 will understand what I am communicating. Any questions they might have about this energy that they're asking that we can clarify in this channel. Thank you so much, Spirit, for this message. I'm going to leave that exactly where it is. What is it that pile 2 needs to know about this right here, right now? Messaging. I'm going to leave that to just like that. Okay. Alrighty. Queen of Wands. So we saw the King, and now we're seeing the Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Beautiful energy of the Queen of Wands. Okay? 8 Pentacles in the reverse. Some of you guys, it definitely could be about work, with the Queen and the King of Wands, the 3 Pentacle, the 8 Pentacle. Okay, but it could just be a practical situation here. So 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Hangman, Pisces energy. So needing to see something from a different perspective. There's the Wheel of Fortune. So divine understanding, working with the divine to see something different than maybe how we've seen it in the past. Maybe a period of pause here. Okay, but this could be luck and fortune. And here we have financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. You shifted energies somehow, maybe. Because remember I said you used to be in confusion or something like this, and you were like getting centered? I think you're turning something here. Maybe the minds of someone who maybe you 5 wandsed about, Like someone needed a change of perspective here. Okay, fascinating. We have the Page of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Cups in the reverse. It's very similar energy. Okay, opening one's heart space here. Page of Swords, so 2 pages. And this is in the reverse. So lack of clarity or understanding. Someone who just doesn't understand, It could be a lack of experience. Yeah, the 10 of Cups now in the reverse. So failed potential. Okay, a lack of harmony. The 6 of Cups in reverse. So a memory of a person, place, thing of the past. It could be a childhood, a relationship of the past, an experience of the past, or hometown, or family members, something here, but it's in the reverse. Something stuck. Something stuck. 8 Swords. So 8 Swords is all about limiting beliefs, mental prison, keeping us feeling like we can't take inspired action because we're stuck by our own thoughts. So this would take a hangman in order for us to break free. Okay, and then we have the 5 of Cups in reverse, another 5. Okay, this feels like different energy. There's another 5 of Pentacles. Okay, we saw the King and the Queen of Wands. I really feel like there's people involved here, or a person. And for all of you guys, it's going to be either people, or for some of you guys, it's going to be a person. Could be in relationship with the King and Queen of Wands. Could be someone you're working with, or your divine counterpart, okay? It could be aspects of self here. I feel like we're seeing the other aspect of the self, okay? The other aspect of self, why did I just say the other aspect of self? We are all in one, okay? So I don't know, the other side of whoever this is. Now we're seeing this other energy coming through, and it's like the 5 Wands is conflict, because I feel like this energy is still working through mental limitations of their own belief system that keeps them feeling stuck, that they're working through. It's falling sideways because I feel like it's a work in progress. We have to see and understand before we could take inspired action. And when we're not understanding, we don't want to just take action for the sake of taking action, because it doesn't make sense. So this person isn't, even though it might feel stuck, because we saw the 8 of Wands in reverse, and we saw the Fool in reverse, and nothing's moving, and the 3 of Wands in reverse. It's like not moving, not expanding. It's like, no, because there's a process happening here, a much needed one in which whoever this is, okay, whether this is you or someone you're dealing with or your situation, it needs time in order for it to shift its mindset or its understanding, because right now there's a block here. Okay, and it could be just a block because we're inexperienced, okay, which is this 8 of Pentacles in reverse, by the way, an inexperience. This could be I lack the skill, the knowledge, and the know-how. And so I take from you in some way here, because I feel like there was a parasitic energy on you. But it's like whatever you gave to a situation, whatever you were invested in a situation here, I feel like it's going to manifest in your favor, because whatever you did in the past comes to fruition here. But I feel like your rewards haven't really paid off here. It feels like there isn't harmony. There's a block here to open flow, okay? But the thrust of the messaging that I was telling you, open your heart and love, with the volcano and all the hearts, allows there to be a basis of truth, because truth and love are synonymous. So as long as I'm open in my heart space of truth and love, forgiveness and acceptance, then there is no block. If someone else is blocked like this, that has nothing to do with me. Yes, I want them to be happy. Yes, I might want them to be 3 Pentacle. Yes, I might want to be able to work with this person, or I have to work with this person. Maybe this is my business partner. Maybe this is my husband. Maybe this is someone in which we're having to work together and they're stuck here. There's nothing I can do. You're right. There's nothing you can do. It's like hold a higher vision. Have gratitude here. But if we start seeing this person as sort of a threat to me, it's like, no, this person is, although we are one consciousness, this person has an independent journey. And their journey is working through an 8 swords, okay, which I do feel is stemmed from some experience of the past that they are still carrying, that holds this person sort of stuck here. It's like whatever experience of the past is very real to me, and it doesn't allow me to experience something different, because that was my reality. And so I must process disappointments, shame, loss, regrets, okay, like something that makes me feel incapable or lack or something like this. I'm working through this because I don't know any other way. I haven't experienced or seen or learned this. And so in the meantime, in this present moment, I'm not available. Okay, and so if someone's not available in the present moment, we're getting the opposite results here. We're getting stagnation, stuckness. Okay, and we might feel like, well, this person is not clear or honest or whatever. And I feel like we're working through the 7 cup energy, where it's like someone else's confusion does not have to be my confusion. Someone else's pain does not have to be my pain. Someone else's limitation does not have to be my limitation at all. And how do I understand how to be loving? And how do I understand how to not exert my own energy? And how do I know not to sort of maybe give up on a situation here where it's like one way or the other, or be like left out in the cold and feel like, well, now I guess I don't have my family member or my friend anymore because I can't relate, or because they're going through their own reveal. No, it's like, what is my role? How do I button down what I need to, so I'm not drained, so I'm not being combative, so I'm not going back and forth? Because both you and whoever this is, or the situation, circumstance, or group of people, both experience fears in your own sort of worlds differently. So whatever your fears are your fears specific to your journey, whatever this person or this situation. Okay, and so this person's shadows are like things from the past, processing disappointments, working through limiting thoughts and beliefs, a block that doesn't allow this person to maybe be open emotionally to love, to receive love, to give love, and maybe this person owes you an apology here. Maybe this person is very immature. Maybe this person is just super confused and doesn't know. Maybe this person sees their potential but doesn't allow themselves to experience a potential emotional happiness because they feel they're not in a position to do so. Okay, is it a truth? No, it's a distorted belief. It's something that needs to be worked through with a change of perspective. And maybe this person is learning all about this, contractually. Maybe they're watching you. Your inspired action of emitting love, emitting gratitude, it being conscious of your choices and your mindset in order to choose love in the moment, is an example that allows the divine lessons here. Okay, for others to think differently or to see from different perspectives. It's like, because I observed you in action, I'm now able to embody that sort of energy. But if I see you arguing, if I see you poisonous, if I see you detached, and so it's like, what sort of detachment are we practicing? Complete emotional detachment, or detachment where the investment is not maybe handicapping me or keeping me feeling stuck in some way, So, yeah, 5 swords, 3 swords. It feels like a painful situation, that someone's really experienced here. It could be a loss, a breakup of sorts with the 3 swords, heartbreak, and then the 5 swords. It's like, so there's all I know is a 5 sword sort of energy. Unless I mirrored love, unless I mirrored something that I'm able to learn with this inspired action. And so this Queen of Wands is a beautiful energy of, well, the Queen of Wands is very loving, but she is very driven to create. She isn't stopped by anyone else's energy. So if someone is stuck or slow or in 8 swords, she's not going to adapt the 8 swords. She's going to keep creating. She's going to keep magnetizing and building, and her confidence doesn't waver. And so if someone is like this, I don't feel your confidence should waver, but it's difficult when we might think that their role or their function is somehow keeping us stuck in some way, in some regard. And maybe in some aspect, it's because we're karmically sort of bound, or destiny is sort of bound in some way here. Okay, but I do feel like Spirit's talking about a shift in this energy, like a shift, where we were fully maybe trapped. We're slowly getting out of this understanding through your own experience of mirroring to this person or the situation to get out of this. So I still feel like it doesn't feel complete to me. Do you guys feel it's complete? I don't feel it's complete. I feel we're still missing something. So this will be the final, because I do feel it doesn't feel like it's over. So spirits, can we close this out? Can we close this out then? What does this pile to need to know? Final message, close this out. What did I miss? What do they need to know? Final message. Thank you so much, Spirit. Knight of Wands in reverse. Remember, said inspired action. So someone's not taking action on something. Three of Cups. So this is coming together. This is like the group of friends or the network of people. This could be the card of reconciliation, celebration, harmony, being accepted and celebrated by others emotionally. There's the Page of Swords. Spirit, clear and concise message for pile number 2. Can we close out this reading? There's the Star. Do I need to cover it? Maybe. Aquarius energy. It is in reverse. Why is the 3 Cups here? We have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. There's the 7 of Cups, and there's the High Priestess. 7 Cups, 7 Cups, 7 Cups, you guys. Okay? 6 of Cups and the Empress. Wow. Definitely could be talking about childhood here with the Empress's mother. We have children here. Okay, the 6 Cups is childhood. And Page is children. Well, let me sit. Yeah, and three Cups could be the part of pregnancy too. Same with this Empress. So, what is this? Just give me a second. Okay. Pile number 2. So, I still feel like there's people involved, okay? I don't know what side you fall on here, but I feel like it's easy to become very disappointed based on what we're seeing someone to sort of take action upon. If someone's not taking action upon something, it could mean a whole bunch of different things for us. It could mean, oh, it's not important enough for them to take action on it. It doesn't matter. It's not purposeful or something like this, or it's getting in the way of the vision, the dream, the destiny, or whatever here, okay? Don't lose hope based on what you see with your eyes, because what you see with your eyes could definitely be illusions here, in which will become very clear to you at some point in time, okay? I feel like whatever you're experiencing does feel like destiny with the Wheel of Fortune, okay? It does feel like an experience that will turn on its own accord. There's nothing for you to do. Okay, it could be a contractual agreement with someone with this 6 Cups, because this could talk about a soul bond that goes beyond this lifetime. Okay, maybe it's to heal some childhood wounding, or to understand about our own self-worth, or how to give and receive love with all those blocks in the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups. Okay, it's like childhood wounding, a need to open up our heart space to give and receive love, to be accepted. This could be somebody who has a hard time fitting into being accepted, celebrated. They're not making themselves available. Maybe they lack the confidence. Maybe they just feel like they're not in a position to practically be solid enough to show up emotionally. It's like, if I had my practical world set up, then maybe I could show up emotionally or be celebrated or allow there to be a giving and a receiving. But because I don't have it, I'm sort of doing something else here, getting in the way of something, you know, and then we might have felt very drained by this sort of an energy, however you were involved with this person or this experience. Okay, like I said, flip roles, but Spirit is assuring you, you're not seeing the whole picture. Things will become clear where they're unclear. And if you are still in a heavy fog of 7 Cups, and know that when you finally start to see things, when it finally gets revealed to you, it will become clear. Okay, it will become very clear to you. And so we can either see fear, enemies, threats, need to prove, arguments, distortions, them versus me, a 4 Cups energy, a 5 Cups, and a 5 Pentacle. We could see that. And if we see it, we'll believe that. Okay, or we could see it and know that it is an illusion, and then choose consciously to spew out love rather than resentments, spew out unconditional love and acceptance rather than fear. We can put boundaries, or we might feel exposed or drained. Okay, but I feel there's a massive shift happening here. And I feel there's a lot of healing here, okay? Now, if you are in a period of no contact, for some of you guys, where this is a divine counterpart with the King and Queen of Wands, this is talking about a reconciliation. Okay, but reconciliation comes, Spirit says, when the time is right for whoever you're dealing with, integrates whatever lessons they're needing to heal and understand something very destined here. Okay, when this person's able to show up and be available for whatever more lessons they're needing to know here, okay, then trust that this is what's happening. But right now we're not seeing what we're not privy to. And all we're being asked is to hold a higher vibration and take inspired action that is conscious, that is coming from a more enlightened perspective, okay, and hold the vibration of gratitude. And the minute we start going back and saying, I'm not seeing anything, or blah, 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 well, then we're not in the high vibration of gratitude. We didn't get the lesson here. We haven't graduated yet. Hence why the situation isn't moving. It's a reflection of what you hold. So when you hold a higher reflection, okay, a more enlightened state of gratitude, love, high vibration, then you start to experience it with others. Okay, but if you're in constant argument, having to prove, feeling unheard, feeling like there's threats and enemies, this is what we produce. Okay, we cannot force our way or will. All we can do is change your channel of energy. And I feel like maybe you're wanting another to change their mind. And so you're using brute force or your voice. I'm going to convince them. I'm going to prove this, or I'm going to say this or say that. It's not about that at all. That's bulldozing. It's trying to force what isn't. And Spirit is saying the only way you can impact the situation is to accept what is, but to check your energy consciously and tweak it to that of gratitude and love. Because I assure you, this energy could fall back into disappointments, regret, feeling left out in the cold, allowing there to be a leak in their energy, or others to suck them of their energy and then feel like resentment or feel like disappointed, feel like someone else threatened them or took from them. It's like, no, we don't have to sit in a state of fear and guarding and all of that stuff. Okay, we could be showing exceptional, unconditional love from truth and high vibration and warmth, okay, and understanding. And we can hold that vibration. That's going to allow there to be healing in a situation here, okay? Pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you guys very, very much, and I will see you guys at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Pile number 3, you guys picked the 10 of Wands. And this is probably the most beautiful 10 of Wands I've seen in a tarot. Okay, this is the Inner Child Tarot. And so I ask Spirit to provide you with what you're needing to know and hear right here, right now. Okay, so in order for you to know whether this resonates, I do ask you sit through the card layout, ask Spirit what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this is your pile or not, and allow your intuition to tap into the cards that I'll be laying out, okay? But if you want to go straight away to your channeled message, you can. And so let's see what it is that Spirit's wanting to communicate to you. So 10 of Wands, as we know, is the card of carrying a burden that's best left put down. Okay, 10s are all about endings, so it's like we can't know more. We're at capacity, carrying some form of heaviness here. Okay, but look at her here. She's like relaxed. She's just sitting here. The gate is open here. And all these butterflies are flying out. So butterflies are all about freedom, liberation, transformation. Let's see. We have Jupiter and Uranus, 47. So that is the card number 11. 11 is 2. So balance, duality, choices. Jupiter is the planet, ruling planet for Sagittarius, Pisces. Uranus is the ruling planet for Aquarius. Big shifts here, potentially here with something, or maybe the collapse of something that allows there to be peace. Is the calm after the storm? Let's see. Mars and Uranus. Look at this, Uranus. So Uranus is the great awakener. Okay, it's tower energy. It could be major revelations. Mars is taking action. Okay, it could be a planet of strength when it comes to what we say and do, and it is the ruling planet for Aries and Scorpio here 41 and 5. Sorry, I'm just processing the information that's pulling through here. So divine masculine energy. Okay, so we have devotion, Saturn in Aquarius. 7, devotion. Okay, and then we have purpose. I know what I'm here to do. Wow. And then we have grief. Tears are what happens when the ice in the heart melts. Wow. I don't think I've seen this card. So what did I say? 10s are endings here. Putting down the grief. Tears are what happens when the ice in the heart melts. Okay, and then we have 44, expectations. So 44 is a master number. Integrity is a foundation. Treating the earth as home and a temple. Manifestation and leadership. So I'm feeling Aries, Scorpio, and I'm also feeling some Leo and Aquarius from this. So heavy Aquarius energy pulling through for this pile as well. I think pile 1 was heavy Aquarius too, if you were called to that pile. So have some Cancer energy, but more Tower, Uranus, and then this 7, which is Tower energy as well. All right. We have the Queen of Clubs, which is Queen of Wands, and then the Geese. The reflection of the geese. So geese do mate for life. These geese are stationary. They're not flying. I'm going to read the book because I did for all the other piles. So I don't usually use this deck, but I want to see what the author said about this card. Queen of Clubs. It says, a dark-featured woman. She is likely a mother or a nurse. She is helpful and gives good advice when needed. It'd be best to listen to her. Much like a goose, she's gotten around and she's seen some things. Okay. Thanks for coming out. Conjure cards. Queen of Wands, though. But it was getting darker energy here because Queen of Wands is more fair. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But I'm feeling Queen of Pentacles from that. She's been around the block. Okay. Like practically. I mean, I'm getting a strong Earth, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn from this card for sure. Groundedness. Grounded. Okay. And now we have your body, grounded, 43. Okay, because the body is the vessel. It's getting grounded in the body in the 3D. And we have a 7 here, which we had over here. So 77 is a master number. Trust of fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom. Trust of life, trust of self. So she would definitely trust her experience. Here she seems to have a sad experience with the grief. So maybe she experienced the loss. Wow, look at this scenic oracle card. It looks like he's sitting looking at the shoreline. Sunset. And then we have this person. She's at the market with the child. Again, this mother energy. Okay. So the month of the year, we have June with this beautiful angel. So June could be quite significant here in regards to timeline. Could be something that's happened this June, will be happening. We'll see how it plays in effect, but it could be an anniversary or birthday in June, which is always someone's confirmation here. But something feels very guided with this angel here. You know, maybe something was conceptually sort of started or can start with divine timing in June. Okay. And then we have pin, a new job or career. Okay. Let's put June down there. Let's get to the tarot and see. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What does pile 3 need to know right here, right now? What is the messaging about for pile 3? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. She's holding a wooden spoon there. Interesting. It's giving me the mother energy again. She's cooking with the wooden spoon. What is it that pile 3 needs to know? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. What are they needing to know right here, right now? Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. So blessed to be here. I'm feeling heavy June from this card as well. All these leaves look like they're green and lush and mature. So let's see, something coming into fruition. Summer energy could be a metaphor for summertime in June, because June is the first day of summers in June, I do believe. Yes, June 21st or something. So let's see. We have the Knight of Cups. Okay. We have the Ace of Swords, truth and clarity, honesty and action and communication. The Queen of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So maybe feeling underpaid or not appreciated. There may be a lack of some form of understanding on how to drive maybe a career move or a change or something like this. Okay, let's keep going. 3 of Wands in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. Did I say 3? I'm so sorry. 4 of Wands. Community, family. But it's in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. 4 plus the 1 is the 5 Wands. Conflict. 8 Wands. Movement. Look at the angel again we felt from this. Divine guidance. Heavy. Okay. The Sun in reverse. A Leo energy. Hermit energy. Virgo energy in the reverse. And then we have the Emperor. Wow. Aries energy. What's under the Knight of Cups? We have the 2 of Wands in reverse, and then the Wheel. Can help it see in the reverse as well. 2 Wands is all about... Oops, sorry, I dropped my wand if that was loud. I'll grab that after. Let me get a new wand. Okay, and then we have, yeah, the Knight of Cups. I'll put the Knight of Cups over here. No, it doesn't feel right. Okay, you guys can skip ahead as I channel this. I am going to turn the light on though so I can see. Yeah, all right. Okay, pile number 3, very fascinating energy here. Okay, I feel like you, if this is your energy, of course, like I said, it could be I'm tapped into someone around you, okay, but I only feel really one energy here, and I do feel it's your energy. It feels like you made some form of a sacrifice here out of love, is what it feels like, okay, sacrifice. It feels like, because your body, it's like you've been playing some form of a role here, and it feels like it's a beautiful role because it does pull through as a mother. Okay, now this doesn't mean that you literally birthed this child or another person. It could be you had to nurture someone or something in a mother energy, and that will require time, effort, and your physical vessel being invested. You might have been very devoted. And so when we devote ourselves and commit ourselves to something or someone, it's out of an act of service, okay? And so I feel like there was a devotion, an investment, a love, and a giving of energy in which you're maybe your heart, mind, and soul might have been really, like intermingled with this experience, but this only says your body. Because what I feel here is that whatever this is why I say it was a form of a sacrifice of sorts, because there's something that it didn't get. It's like, let's say we show up every day for work. Okay, we show up, and we're creating this project, but we're not getting paid. Well, the body's invested, but there's no reward, let's say we do the work, but then it's like there is no shift, we're still suffering at the end of it. It's like, well, what was I doing and what was I invested in? Okay, now there should never be an understanding that when this happens, there's going to have to be an outcome that comes with it. Because when we do this, then we're in for disappointments here, okay? And so this is the blind spot oracle, because I feel like if we're hanging on to certain outcomes and we tend to subconsciously start to do things that honor that outcome, we're sort of boxing ourselves in and keeping ourselves stuck to some thing that might not necessarily be for our greatest and highest good. Okay, so that's one message coming through. But Spirit is talking about whatever you were invested in here does come from a beautiful, loving place here. Okay, and I feel like there was a downfall or a disappointment here, because I feel like you weren't able to pull yourself out of this to go invest yourself in something that would be rewarding. So it's like, if I wanted to, like man my own business, I couldn't be invested in someone else's business. I have to pull my body out and go and invest. But instead, there was like this investment somewhere else. And so I feel like the burden is that in the physical realm of carrying other people, okay, energetically, however we were doing it, maybe we were in a position where we had to really like stay there for whatever reason. Maybe we really felt like we didn't have the resource, or okay, so that would be like, I have to stay at this job, I don't have the resource, so I have to stay here and sort of see it to the end. Or it was honoring some role that we felt we had to honor. But I feel like the more we experience this energy of not being able to pursue that in which is our purpose, because there is a higher vibrational experience that you're meant to experience here. And I feel it's coming online with this Uranus energy and this tower energy. The tower comes to shift your world. Okay, the pin here I feel is like popping some sort of thing that kept you in some form of a bubble. Now, we did talk about June in the card layout, because I do feel like either something significant had happened this past June that's talking about this experience, okay, or this could be talking about divine guidance in regards to timing that will unfold, okay, in June. So it could be the birth of something tangible in June that's like made to develop here, okay, but it could just be confirmation for a birthday or an anniversary or something like this. Also, the metaphor of the June, because I was seeing the leaves and the greenery here, is summer energy. It's like finally thriving, and so the ice in the heart it's talking about here, ice is the opposite of summer. Cold, feeling without. Okay, and I was really getting a 3 swords from this, so we could have felt sorrow, sadness, without. And it's like I had to be selfless, or I had to mother something here, or I had to be the nurturer. And then experience frozenness, or experience something here which didn't fully honor you, I feel. Okay, so this is about to change here. And I feel it's about to change because I do feel like you're coming out of any state where you were not seen, not in the light, not appreciated, not experiencing joy. And I don't know if this was a workplace, a community, a marriage, whatever this 4 of Cups means to you, okay? It's like it couldn't support your greatness and reward you. It wasn't in line with your purpose. Now, does it mean that you're going to have to walk away from this and leave this and go somewhere else completely different? It could be, but I don't feel this. I feel this tower is a wake up and a shake up of this, whatever this energy is. Okay, and it could be something that's been aligning since June, or something that is just experiencing a tower just now, in order for the truth and clarity of what is supposed to be in the right alignment here for you. I feel like there's a right alignment that comes online, that the prolonged joy, that the joy's been prolonged or delayed based on something that wasn't aligned, that's going to start moving. And I do feel like you're no longer needing to be held back. Like, you know, where we're playing a mother role, it's like we're playing a role. So we're held back in life, or we're held back from pursuing our purpose, or stepping into our power, or leaning into whatever it is that allows us to make decisions and moves here. Okay, because I do feel like we weren't in a position to choose. We weren't in a position. The universe kept us sort of experiencing what we needed to here for a reason, which it seems like it created some form of a empty-handed disappointment. Okay, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. In fact, I feel like we're aligning with our soul's purpose. Okay, it's like following our heart, our soul's purpose, some sort of creative thing, something that's going to make us happy, something that's going to empower us, something that's going to bring to us fulfillment, where we might have felt we couldn't pursue it. Okay, for a lot of you guys, it does say a new job or career, but it's the life purpose. Okay, whether you want to call it a job or career, I don't know. But an emperor could talk about a boss. So it's being your own boss. It could be the own boss of your world, you know, your life, your purpose, what you do day in, day out. Like, you're the boss of it. You're no longer having to play some sort of caretaker role. Okay, I'm going to ask Spirit to clear this up for us some. Okay, but I do feel like there's something about in the 3D, there was one experience, and in the 5D, or where your soul or your heart was, there was some sort of lack. Okay, because I feel like something wasn't being fulfilled. So, Spirit, for pile number 3, what is this energy that I'm tapped into here? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. What do they need to know right here, right now, about this energy that I'm tapped into? I feel like whatever heaviness you're carrying is definitely coming to an end here, okay? But I feel like, I don't feel like the situation itself is coming to an end, so much as it is, I feel the energy of that situation, or the unhealthy dynamic that might have kept you feeling, I don't know, like I'm just here nurturing this thing, I'm not getting paid, or it's not aligned with something here. Okay, was it mirroring to you your greatness, maybe potentially in some capacity? So let's see, Spirit pile number 3 in this energy that I'm tapped into. What do they need to know? Can we dive in a layer deeper here in regards to this energy? So 5 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, there's that work career energy, Queen of Wands coming out again, clarified by the Ace of Swords. Truth about your value. And maybe it's like you weren't being seen, you weren't being paid, you weren't being appreciated, you weren't being, like something about the energy and the effort and the dedication and the commitment, okay, towards maybe something in regards to you specifically. It was not happening here. Okay, so 9 of Cups in reverse. The Fool, Aquarius energy. The 8 of Cups, that's the walking away. Ace of Wands in reverse. Hopefully you guys can see that. The Empress and the Tower in reverse. Can you guys see? Yes. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. I don't read bottom of the deck reverse. And under that, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, let me tap into when the devil under that peeking out Capricorn and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So let me sit here with this and see what it is that Spirit's talking about. I don't know why this Tower is in the reverse, but we were feeling Tower in the card layout from this Uranus, and from this 7, heavy Tower. And so I'm not surprised the Tower is here, but in the reverse. I'm not sure, but let's start the channel. So I feel like the devil is representing the situation, circumstance, unfortunately, that I do feel was limiting in some regard, because I felt it held you hostage in your body in some way. You know, it was like at the expense of something, because I feel like there was a part of you that maybe wasn't being appreciated or paid or seen. It's like a part of you had to be silenced or suppressed or just not online. Like I said, for some of you guys, it was because you were invested in the thing, but it's never paid you. It's like a baby can't say thank you and pay you back, you know? But I don't feel like it was like a role of a mother, literally, because I don't think a mother is going to expect the child to now pay her in kind. But this seems to me like it's like whatever this was is like it should have, in theory, pay you in kind in some way. Okay? Now, if it is a mother that stays here with the child, it's like, because I am feeling for some of you guys, maybe it's like I can't go back to work. I can't focus on the career part of it, even though, okay, to be a mother is definitely a purpose, but there's something maybe that you're wanting to focus on. It's like I can't focus on that until the child is, you know, ready to leave the coop. And maybe it has something to do with June. Maybe you gave birth in June, or maybe by June you'll be able to explore some sort of career. Okay, but for the rest of you guys, I feel that's not the case. The case here is I was invested in nurturing something physically, and it wasn't being seen or expressed or understood the truth of my value in something. Okay, and that was creating the conflict here. And so emotionally, there was a disappointment. And this disappointment, we can't stay in a 9 cups reverse, because that means I'm not being emotionally fulfilled. It's not satisfying here in a way. And so there's a need to recognize what is emotionally dissatisfying, walking away from it, and allowing yourselves to explore what's out there, okay, without the baggage. Okay, but I feel like there is something here about not being able to pursue, not being able to explore something. And I feel like there is this beautiful, loving, very grounded energy about you. Okay, and I feel like it was having to make certain decisions. And I feel like there were very wise decisions, okay, because the Empress isn't going to make any sort of foolish decisions or sell herself short in any way. But I feel like she was limited for some reason. And even though there is no such thing as a limitation other than the ones we sort of hold, it's like her circumstances could have been one in which it wasn't allowing some form of experience, which again, like I said, with all these cups, creative experience, filling the soul with joy, emotional happiness, something like this, okay, was not coming online. And I feel like there was a definite devilly presence in this experience. So this could be an unhealthy thing that is in one's environment that doesn't allow one to have movement freely and feel chained, feel stuck, feel heavy, feel burdened. So if we carried someone else's devil, okay, so someone else has issues, someone else is stuck. It's like if I'm stuck to them and they're stuck, then I can't move. And so we could have mothered someone, okay, that might have been carrying some form of an addiction, some form of a bad habit, some form of a a connection with someone or a situation with someone that was stuck. It wasn't allowing this beautiful Empress, which I feel is your energy, to experience love. Okay, or to fully experience the creative side or be paid in kind. It's like I'm finally free here. I'm finally able to walk away from what's not emotionally pleasing so that I can walk towards what can be pleasing. But like I said, this Tower in reverse, I'm not sure. And I want to see what's with this Tower in reverse, Spirit. What's with this Tower in reverse for pile number 3? What is this Tower in reverse? It's like something feels like it's stabilizing. And maybe that's the thing. Yeah, like remember I told you this is the peaceful 10 of Wands. Something was heavy, something was burdened, something was supposed to be put down. It's like the burden now becomes peaceful and calm. Because I didn't feel like you were like outrightly leaving a situation so much as I was seeing a shift in some sort of dynamic where something was unstable and maybe now it's getting stabilized. Why is this Tower here in reverse? Yeah, which now gives you permission to focus elsewhere. And she has the wooden spoon because I feel like she's creating something. I'm getting Temperance energy. Like she's creating something. Queen of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it's like whatever you were experiencing, okay, I feel was destabilizing. You didn't understand it. It wasn't clear. It wasn't clear. And what wasn't clear was you being valued or you having the life force energy here to create. It's like when we're in this beautiful energy, it's like we're full of fire, passion. We create things. We have our confidence back. We have our fire. We're empowered. And it's like feeling blocked by this because there was some form of understanding here that we were being, I don't know, withheld from some form of ability. You know, was destabilizing. That's all that I can really say here. This lack of clarity. And it's like, how do we get clear then? It's like through a wisdom of experience, maybe a wisdom of having to go through a cycle, having to see something about ourselves, understand something about ourselves. Okay, this is kind of becoming clear, but I still feel like we're not tying it all together. So let's see, Spirit, for pile 3, thank you so much for this message. Can we clear up and tie in exactly what it is we're needing to know then about this message for pile 3? What is this shift or change or Tower energy? What is it that pile 3 needs to know about their situation, circumstance that's unclear right now? What am I missing? What do they need to know? Thank you so much, Spirits. 10 of Pentacles. So let's building our empire. Family. That could be the card of long-term stability, commitment, or legacy. Okay, look at the Tower in reverse again, you guys. Stabilizing some form of foundation, long-term. If some of you guys were trying to land like a full-time job or a full-time family or a commitment or build something somewhere, this is what's coming together, okay? Maybe you're trying to build a family home and it's like, that's the thing you were nurturing, like building that house. Because I think this came through in some of my automatic writing. Building of a home, okay, could be like physical. It wasn't ready. It might be ready in June. Like we're building our home. Okay, like physical house. But for some of you guys, it could be just the family unit here of something that needed to stabilize. There's the Star in reverse, Aquarius energy, the 9 of Swords. So losing hope because something was very unstable. I wasn't seeing it with the Queen of Swords in reverse. It wasn't clear whether it would build to something in the 3D, whether it could be stable, whether I could count on it, commit to it. Okay, lots of worry, lots of sleepless nights. Why is the 10 Pentacles here? The Magician in reverse. Yeah, so there's a lack of confidence whether this thing would manifest in the 3D. Would it build to something here reliable and solid that could stand the test of time? Tower in reverse clarified by the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, like would it manifest? Would this be something that is solid? Could this thing grow? I don't think you believe that it could, because I feel it was very ungrounded or just unstable. Okay, Justice in the reverse, Libra energy clarified by the Three of Wands in the reverse, and the bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands. Wow, and then the Knight of Swords. So this is, again, community, marriage, union, laying the groundwork. This could be the home, again, like I said. Okay, this is the family unit. Okay, pile number 3. I do feel like you're not completely out of the woods yet. I feel like you're building the foundation right now, something that will stand the test of time. It does feel like it's going to be where you can grow something here, okay? I feel like there's a lot of anxiety and worry, and has been, and I feel like you might have lost hope or a vision of how this could take place, because it's like I don't see it in the 3D manifest. I don't necessarily know that it's going to be something, or that I have any role in doing this, or how I could influence this thing at all. It feels like it's out of your hands. It might have felt something like it's just unfair or unjust or imbalanced in some capacity or some regard, because it's not moving. And you might have had to throw in the towel, okay? With the Star in reverse and the Three of Wands, it's like the plans fell apart, or it didn't come together. It didn't happen in the way I thought it would happen. And so I had a lot of anxiety about this. And the Tower in reverse sometimes can mean that the tower already fell, you know? And it's like maybe you had to deal with the falling apart of some sort of structure. But it's the best thing ever, because what's happened now is the destabilization of that tower falling, or of that thing that didn't feel secure, is now allowing you to create something very solid and secure. Like I feel like you're facing this thing head on. You're able to rely on whatever this thing is, okay? It does feel very solid, but I don't think you're seeing it just yet. And so this could be very confusing, because for some of you guys, like I said, if this angel is divine timing, divine guidance, something with June, okay, which means it might fully create this thing by June, or the summer energy of June, which means it comes into full fruition. This thing, whenever it's supposed to, with divine timing, it comes into fruition. It will come into fruition in the full summer energy. The greenery, the lusciousness of whatever this is, will be seen and explored by you. But I feel like maybe it's not happening right now, and it could be very discouraging. So let's give you a final message, because what do you need to know about this then? Is there guidance? Are you supposed to do something? Or is this just confirming to you where you might have lost hope? Because that Star in reverse is like, I don't see how it could happen. And it might feel very, very like a dream that's just not going to happen here. So let's see, Spirit, for pile 3, can we close out this reading? What are they being asked to do? And what am I missing to close out this reading for pile number 3? Any questions they still have about this reading and what they need to do? Six of Wands in reverse, Justice in reverse. Yeah, I feel like you might have said there's nothing I can do and I just sort of give up. But I feel like this came with you maybe not believing that there would be success here. Okay, and Spirit saying there is success here. Okay, there's some sort of thing that I don't think ended in your favor, or experienced in your favor just yet. King of Pentacles in reverse. So again, it's like something that didn't pan out, that you don't know you can rely on. It's like, is this job going to pay, you know, where I can retire on? Can I create something here? Can I depend on this person, place, or thing to develop into something more stable? Okay, King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. Pile number 3. And what am I missing here? What are they being asked to do then? Libra, the Fool in reverse, Aquarius energy. Why is the 6 Wands in reverse? Again, you weren't being valued where you were, or appreciated or seen. Four of Swords in the reverse. Why is this King of Pentacles here? Ace of Wands. I was going to say the Ace of Swords. I don't know that I can do long readings anymore, you guys. I'm like getting so drained right now. Like super drained. Let's finish out this reading strong, spirits. Please help me to channel this message in a clear and concise way that pile 3 will understand. Why is this Fool here? Knight of Wands in the reverse. There's that Knight of Cups again. 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, and then the 9 of Cups. Okay, just let me see what Spirit's trying to say here. Ace of Cups in the reverse, 10 of Cups there. It's so weird, like 10 of Cups, ultimate emotional fulfillment, but it's like personal fulfillment here is blocked. 9 of Cups is personal fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, but then the 10 of Pentacles is blocked. I think this has been up, downs, up, downs, up, downs here. So it's really giving me something speaks to your heart, okay? All of you guys, you know what your star is, whatever it is that you're wanting to build. I feel like some of you guys have lost complete hope in this thing. It's been up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like, can it get stable? Can it be built upon? Is it going to make me emotionally happy? Can I extend my heart open to this thing? Or should I prepare for disappointments in some way? Because you have experienced, I feel like, disappointment, or I don't know, maybe even invalidated by your experience here. It's like it didn't pan out. It didn't work out. I don't know why it hasn't worked out, but it might have left you feeling rocked in some capacity, because it's like, I still need to heal from my experience with this thing. And I need to know what's true for me and what's not. I feel ungrounded or uncertain now about it in some regard. Can I trust it? Can I commit to it? Can it build with me? Is this person reliable? Is this business reliable? Is this job going to be something that I could work with? Okay, and Spirit is saying, you're going to be shown and guided. Okay, there's going to be something that comes back to you, which is this life force energy we were getting from that Queen of Wands that allows you to move with where you're being guided to build this thing. Okay, wherever you felt like you couldn't have a new beginning, you felt blocked, you felt almost like stunted. It's like, I'm stunted because I can't move in that direction. I can't be free to explore this because I had a 10 Wands. Okay, this could be another obligation. But the baggage was preventing a new beginning, an exploration, moving towards something here. And now it's like whatever that was is being put down and is allowing you to experience this thing, this 10 of Cups and this 9 of Cups, which is you being emotionally fulfilled, a situation that brings emotional fulfillment, without having to sacrifice some part of self, because I do feel there was a sacrificing of self in some regard. And then it's like, well, it wasn't to its full capacity. It couldn't build the thing that I wanted because I feel you wanted a certain solid thing in the 3D. And it couldn't get there. It couldn't build to it. So, Spirit, what is it that pile 3 needs to do? Because I feel like there's nothing for you to really do except for be guided by your own, I don't know, your own heart, your own soul. Like, you'll be shown the way. Whatever was not working here is going to be an opportunity or an opening for you to work through this. But I do feel like it might have left you feeling destabilized for some time. What am I missing here? 10 of Pentacles in reverse again. The World in reverse. Gotta cover the bum. So, yeah, like something hasn't fully ended here. But I feel like the energy is shifted. That's what really feels different. It's like the energy shifted. Whatever wasn't working. And it could be I have to leave some of what didn't work or what was already built I have to come to terms with that. So that's why the Tower was in reverse, in order for there to be a new thing that's built here. Okay, so there could be closure with a new thing. 4 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, because I don't think you were feeling emotionally seen or appreciated or valued, or there's something here about feeling like despondent or feeling rejected or feeling emotionally not fulfilled. Why is this 10 of Pentacles here? The Page of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Finally being able to honor our feelings. Okay, so being understood. Maybe how we feel, or finally seeing it with clear understanding, or more curious about what it is that does drive us to be happy. We may have had to really put our feelings on the shelf. Look at this, King and Queen of Cups, divine counterparts. Okay, and in between them is the Page of Swords. So better communication in regards to curiosity, understanding, clearing any misconceptions here, the beginning stages of bonding two people emotionally here, or us to our project. Okay, the yin to our yang, like I always say with the King and the Queen of Cups. Emotional availability, these are very much tied in the soul, creatively, with intuition. 6 of Swords in the reverse. And we have Temperance, Sagittarius energy, and their strength, Leo. Okay, beautiful people. All your situations are slightly different here, okay? But one thing is a for sure, and this is whatever was not clear in regards to the manifestation of the build. You wanted a long-term build of something, but not at the expense. And I feel like something was shelved, okay? It was like a part of yourself that it was being shelved here, because I feel like for whatever reason, it was a part of whatever process you were experiencing. This is being healed. This is being balanced. Okay, there's a balance here. And so I feel like you are now being able to work with other, or both aspects of yourself come online here without something being shelved, being understood, being able to work through whatever was creating the misunderstanding or the lack of some stagnation, some disappointment, okay, in a situation which I feel is still present, but it's being reorientated here. It's being healed. It's being balanced. Okay? So, but I do feel at one point it was like I'm stuck. It's not working. It's not fair. I feel dysregulated. I can't start forward. The life force energy isn't letting me drive to experience anything new. Is this something I could build or rely upon? I don't feel so. Okay, but it's like it is. Okay, their universe has heard you. You are being guided. This is being healed. Okay, and so the courage here is to be in a situation that feels discouraging. Okay, with the Star in reverse in this, I do feel you have the Star in reverse. I don't know why I felt there was a lack of trust in this process now, because maybe you've been disappointed, you know? It's like I've been disappointed, I've been empty-handed, or I never got recognition in a way here that felt just or fair. The universe left me hanging. It's like, no, I didn't leave you hanging. The Spirit is saying, this is part of your healing. This is part of the balance. This is part of aligning your yin to your yang, your masculine to your feminine, your creative pursuit with you. Okay, whatever was supposed to happen here, it was becoming seen or understood. And it's the early stages of this yet. Okay, so something's still closing out. The Spirit still acknowledges that maybe you're still feeling the effects of feeling rejected or feeling left out or feeling emotionally stuck in some way. This hasn't been forgotten, and you're not stuck here, okay? So there will be healing here. There will be balancing here. I don't see movement so much as I see the fire coming online, the healing, the balance, the understanding. This has to come online first. Then I feel there's like some closing out of something so that we can have movement. Okay, so the movement allows us to build, invest, and, you know, like create this thing that I feel is sort of on ice here. And because there's everything in stages. And I feel like first it's like being understood, or really connecting here with an understanding of what we want, what we feel, being understood, speaking the same language as other or environment, so that this becomes clear, so that we're not just aimlessly sort of building someone else's dream or investing in some other thing that isn't meant for us. Okay? Because what's meant for you is meant for you with this purpose. It's specifically designed for you. And so this is Spirit clearing the way. Okay? But Spirit is saying, be understanding that there is an unfolding here that's going to be for your highest good, but the expectation of what this looks like is still not seen and understood by you. Okay? So allow yourself to be shown what's going to unfold here without attaching to any sort of expectation. Ace of Cups, and this was wanting to fall sideways, and the Knight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I feel like there's some working through situation, which I do feel you were feeling emotionally depleted, not recognized or seen, or not being able to follow your heart, or not express your creativity, or maybe intuitively feeling like this doesn't feel like it's allowing me to move. It feels like it's not allowing me to give and receive in a way here that allows me to have a beginning. It feels very removed, you know? And so you have your reasons, okay? Or at least the divine is saying there was reasons. And so there is recognition with this, but this is what you're moving beyond. The 10 of Wands is being put down, okay? And I feel the only thing that's really ending here is the lack of clarity, the doubt, the parts of this journey which might have felt unfair, unjust, or not successful. This is the stuff that's being regulated here, okay? So trust in the divine plan and allow yourself to sort of navigate wherever Spirit is wanting you to go, because I do feel like you could have been very much used to just feeling like, well, there's nowhere to go and nothing to do here because I feel completely stuck and, you know, not shown the way. You'll be shown. All right, pile number 3. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much, and I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye.